Raymond van Barneveld, 5-time World Darts Champion. You're heading into the Paddy Power PDC World Darts Championship. How are you and how's your form?
Very good. I'm practicing a lot, of course. Recently, not good results on the majors, but I'm practicing harder now. I could only practice with my new set of darts in 4 weeks now, because I wasn't allowed to release them yet in the Open.
You won't take your second round opponent lightly, but if you were to win that, you could play Peter Wright, a 2-time champion.
Peter.
That seems like an unfair draw. Is that your assessment?
Well, normally I was focused on Luke. Luke was 4th before the Players' Championship, so he moved 1 spot up, and Peter was 1 down. The last couple of results against Peter were not in my favor, so we all know Peter. I hope he, if I make that game, he's swapping a lot of his darts. So, but Peter against me, he will never underestimate me. Of course, no one does.
Who do you think is the title favourite for this year's championship?
Yeah, Michael Smith, Luke Humphries, Geraint Price. One of them 4, I give the best opportunities to lift this trophy.
You were on Leicester Square stage a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
With 10 other men.
Yeah.
Only 11 men have won the PDC World Dart title.
Yeah.
And they were showing clips of you winning that last leg at Cyprus Tavern. What were the memories that were coming back to you?
I remember the last leg when we had to hit the ball. In those years, you could leave the ball in. You know, Phil was having a single ball. I said, leave it in. So the bullseye. And then I start with a Tom, and he threw a 180. I'm thinking, now really? So I tried not to think, and I threw a 180 back. That killed him maybe, but I was missing a 12-dart finish on tops, and he could still finish 144. You know, I think he left 144, 148. I'm not sure. Even he had 3 darts in his hand, he could finish it, and he didn't. So, and then 1 dart at tops, and became the world champion. That was a dream of came true, right? Because it was my first year in the PDC. What can you wish for more? But if you would have said to me after the match, I played that match really good, yeah, with 21 180s, good average. If some person would have said to me, Ray, this is the last time you become world champion, I would have laughed, and I would have said, no, I'm going to win this more than 3 times more, which I never did.
On the night of champions, Michael van Gerwen and Phil Taylor were jostling about who was the better player at their peak. You've seen both Taylor and van Gerwen at their best. Who is the better player?
It's so hard to say. It's so hard to say. If you look at styles, you know, I like to see Michael's play, or Luke Humphries, or Michael Smith, the fluencies. I like to watch a fast player. The style of Ross Smith, also fantastic. Phil is a slow player, but he's so good. And yeah, well, who's the better player? Well, I think he won more world titles, right? So 16, you know, and he was also 4 times in the finalist. So 20 world championship finals. So there is no doubt that he's the best player of all times. But if you want to look at who you fancy to watch on TV, I like to see Michael van Gerwen. I like to see fast players. I love that. Yeah.
This has been a very fantastic year for you. You got married, Raymond, the day after the World Series final. What can you tell us about the nuptials and how it all went?
We went to Cyprus, and yeah, she had relatives there, and her grandfather was from that place. So it was a fantastic day. We had amazing pictures, yeah, amazing day. She looked really beautiful, and well, the day was over in no time. So they sent us 1,650 pictures or something, and every picture was even beautiful more than the other one.
You're very popular with the Dutch football team. You know a lot of Dutch footballers.
Yeah.
Can you tell us some good stories? And who is the best footballing darts player, if you like? Or
I think Frank de Boer. Back in '95, I met him a couple of times. He and his brother, his twin brother Ronald, they're really good. They can do all of everything. Tennis, they can play football, they can do, wow. And they're really good dart players. But I met Robin van Persie, Ralph van der Vaart, Arjen Robben, and they all love the game. So what they do after they finish training, they go sit in the canteen and they play games. So yeah, it surprised me as well, but they're always watching. I remember Dennis Bergkamp one day at the golf course in Holland. So I went to him, I said, I always wanted to shake your hand. He said, yeah, I wanted to shake your hand as well because we are watching you. Of course, that is strange for me, because for me, they are like, yeah, gods, you know, like, and especially Bergkamp, of course.
Who's the most famous contact in your mobile phone?
The most famous contact in my mobile phone? Wow. I think my wife. I should say this. No, I got a couple. I got Arjen Robben, Robin van Persie, Rafael van der Vaart, Donny van der Beek from Manchester United. So a lot of footballers, but also Rico Verhoeven, a K1 fighter. One day I got a phone call of Robin. He said, "Hey mate, you doing?" "Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You got a question?" No, I just call you to see how you are. How great is that? No one does that anymore, you know. So normally they need something from you, or they want something, but just a nice phone call to see how you are, and I really appreciated that.
If you went to the darts on a day off, no playing,
Yeah.
what would you be a fancy dress outfit, Raymond?
Fancy dress up?
What would you dress up in fancy dress?
I can't say like Barney, right? Maybe Fred Flintstone, then people won't recognize me.